Hey guys, Mark here, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at the brand new Samsung Galaxy S20, and I'm going to be going over what I would consider to be my top 10 best new features on this device. So I won't keep you waiting, let's hop straight in. Starting at number 10, we have the 5G connectivity. Now, I was kind of debating with myself on whether or not I really wanted to put this on the list at all, but it does matter to some people, so here it is. 5G is cool, don't get me wrong, but we're at least a few years away before it really becomes ubiquitous like 4G is, and even though millimeter wave 5G can get you really fast speeds, the vast majority of the 5G networks are only going to get a little bit faster than 4G LTE. So yes, it is cool and it does effectively future-proof the phone a little, but it's not much more than a gimmick right now. Number 9 is a feature Samsung is calling Quick Share, which effectively boils down to AirDrop for Android, which is awesome. What isn't awesome is that for right now, it's limited to the S20 lineup only, so you'll only be able to use it if you have friends and family with S20 devices. Number 8 is Music Share. With Music Share, you can have other people cast music through your phone into your Bluetooth speakers. My favorite use case for this is going to be road trips. No more pass the aux cord. Your friends can just request that a new song be played on the speakers right from their phone without having to connect or set up their phone on the head unit of your car. This is one of those underrated features I think that should be available on pretty much every phone. It's really smart. Number 7, this feature is one of those things that could be really useful for vloggers. The S20 lineup allows you to switch between the front and rear facing cameras while you're recording video. It isn't entirely seamless because there is a slight freeze for about half of a second when you hit the flip button, but nevertheless, it is a feature that was previously unavailable on Android phones without the use of something like a third-party app. Plus, there's the fact that all of the phones on this camera, all of the cameras on this phone can shoot 4K 60 FPS, which means there won't be much variation when you switch between the front and rear-facing cameras. Number 6 is very similar to 7, and it's called Single Take, and what it does is it attempts to capture a series of moments using both photos and videos from all of the cameras at the same time and then sort of matches it together into a single library so that you don't miss anything that happens within the frame. When the library is finished processing, after a few seconds it creates GIFs and stylized photos and videos, and then you can just pick and choose the best moments from that library. This feature is really cool and it would be higher on this list, but my life is too boring to make use of it, so yeah. On to number 5. Number 5 is easily one of my favorite features. It's called app pinning. The base model S20 has 12 gigs of RAM and you can use more of that power by forcing the phone to keep apps open permanently. Apps that are pinned open instantaneously with no lag or no wait time whatsoever, no matter how big or how small the app is. For example, if you play a lot of PUBG Mobile, you can literally keep the game on and running in the background while you do other things. The base model S20 can pin up to 3 apps at one time, but the Ultra can pin up to 5 apps. This feature is going to go unused by a lot of people that don't realize it's there, and it speeds up the phone significantly if you pin your most frequently used apps. Number 4 is one of the main talking points about this phone. All models of the S20 can shoot 8K video, and before I say anything else, let me just say that that by itself is incredible. Videos that come out of this thing are super sharp for a phone camera, and because the sensor is so large, you can even get a decent bit of bokeh going on behind a really close subject. But there is a reason that this is number 4 on this list and not number 1. I just don't think it's all that useful for everyday use. Yeah, it's sharp, but it only shoots 24 FPS. There's a lot of judder and rolling shutter. There's not much image stabilization, and it crops in a long way compared to 4K. For a phone camera, like I said, it's incredible, but is it something you'll be using frequently? No, I don't think so. It's just too inconvenient, which completely goes against the whole reason why you use a phone camera in the first place. I'll be doing some more in-depth testing with the cameras soon, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe down below so that you'll know when that video drops. Number 3, all right, my top 3 features. In third place is a feature that has been in past Samsung devices but was removed a while ago and now makes a triumphant return. Pro Video Mode. This was something that was missing from the S10 lineup last year, and it is a huge deal for anyone that shoots video on their phone. With Pro Video, you can change everything. You have control over literally everything. You've got exposure, you've got white balance, autofocus, shutter speed, ISO, everything. Except you can't shoot 8K video in Pro Mode, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I think I can mitigate a lot of the issues with the 8K video by adjusting those settings myself, but at least right now there's no options that will allow me to use the 8K resolution in Pro Mode. Hopefully they'll fix that soon. Number 2 is the massive zoom system on the S20 lineup. The S20 and S20 Plus have a pretty long 30x hybrid zoom, and as you can see, it goes pretty darn far. The photos at the long end of the zoom are definitely not going to be that great, given at that end it's going to be mostly digital zoom, but it allows you to get really close to things that are barely visible with the naked eye. And that's a really useful feature in my opinion. There have been a lot of times where I found it difficult to get a shot of something in the distance, and the hybrid zoom helps a lot. You could even use this thing as your own portable pair of binoculars if you really want, just don't be creepy. The S20 Ultra has an even bigger space zoom that goes up to a massive 100x hybrid base zoom, but as most of you have probably seen from the launch keynote, no one is going to be using that long end of the zoom for taking pictures. It's just a blurry, pixelated mess. And that takes us to number 1, a feature that has been becoming more and more common on smartphones lately. It started back with the Razr phone back in 2017. You already know what I'm gonna say. The S20 lineup all come with a 120Hz AMOLED display. If you haven't experienced what 120Hz on a phone or even a computer monitor feels like, then it probably won't make sense to you what I'm talking about here, but let me try and explain as best as I can. The phone just feels faster in every single way. Animations are buttery smooth, apps feel like they open faster, and overall, it just feels like the fastest Samsung phone ever made by a long shot. Not only that, but Samsung has also upped the touch sensing rate to 240 Hz, making responsiveness even faster again. It's going to be extremely hard to go back to a phone that only runs at 60 Hz like I know I'm going to have to do eventually. It makes that much of a difference to me. There is one downside, and that's the fact that the 120Hz mode is only available in the Full HD Plus resolution. If you want to bump up the resolution to the display's native 3200 by 1440, you'll have to drop the refresh rate down to 60 Hz, which is absolutely not worth doing in my opinion. And that's my top 10 features. Let me know in a comment below if you agree or disagree with the placement of some of these features. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to support my channel. And as always, have a great day.